that were decoys chained together and strung across the marina. And you could swim as long as you stayed on your side of the duck. You couldn't go on the other side. You know, there was someone there. He wasn't a bodyguard, not guarding the body. He was guarding the water. For the simple reason, we were swimming in the same water, but we couldn't go on the other side of the duck. So that's pretty much it. I forget what year it was, but anyway, we finally got rid of the ducks. We finally moved the ducks.
Okay.
Okay, this question is for Mrs. Farrar. I was wondering, especially since you said I do believe that you retired in '84. During your time of teaching, especially with us just coming out of January with Martin Luther King's birthday celebration, and then the month of February being the observance of Black History Month, did you teach Black history in your classrooms when you were still teaching?
Yes, yes.
Very good.
I have some students here can tell you I did. In fact, Mrs. Farrar was like a mother. I preached them all.
That's right. Good. Good. Yes. My other question regarding that is, at the time you were teaching, could you kind of tell what % of other teachers in your building were teaching Black history, knowing you were the only Black one probably at the time in your building? But could you get a sense of whether or not other teachers you were teaching with found it important enough to teach their classes?
There might have been 2 or 3, but it wasn't a priority at that time. And many of them didn't. But I remember some little children, and they would get to my room, and I guess I was kind of stern. But they all understood me, and I understood them. And nobody knows, many classes, when they were going out the door for the last day, I was almost in tears. We had gotten together just that much. But I really enjoyed teaching. And I'm sure the children must have enjoyed it because they see me nowadays and tell me. But I really enjoyed teaching, I really did. And I didn't have too many problems. Sandusky had things that, like, you couldn't eat at the, the counters, which was not right. I'm not saying it's right. But what I'm saying is that it has improved so. They had a black Philco plant out on Monroe Street. And rather than hire blacks, they opened a factory on Warren Street. I know because I worked there. And it was a good thing. It was a bad thing, but it was a good thing. Because many of our men that were well educated, they got a chance to do what they did in this black factory. They never would have had that chance, in that one out there. So it was bad in one way, but good in one way. For all of our people that were educated in that kind of stuff. Mr. Ridley and some others, I can't call names. Howard Daniels, right. Reuben Sharp, Sterling Claiborne.
Call the road.
That was a good thing.
We got time for a couple more questions, but before we got, I see it was Mrs. Moore. Did Ms. Moore have a question? So, Ms. Farrar, I want to ask you this though. Talk about your brother, the experience he had as working in the post office.
Oh, yes.
How that went. If you would tell us that, please.
Yes.
And we'll hear from Ms. Moore after that.
Okay.
We're going to have to wrap it up pretty soon here. Thank you. So
we always had two, as long as I can remember when I grew up, there were 2 black mailmen that carried mail. James Davis and Alfred Alexander. And later on, my brother, Clarence Severs, was the first black to work inside the post office as a clerk. They hired others after him. But he was the first one, the first black clerk. But that was the government doing that. That wasn't the city of Sandusky doing it. But I wanted to talk about, I wanted you to remember that about the post office.
This is for Mrs. Farrar. I just want to say to you, hello honey, I just want to say to you that when I was young, you were always nice to me, and when Randy and Trudy, they just love you, and I just appreciate what you did for them because they always talk about how nice you were to them.
Thank you. I lived by your grandmother for years on Perry Street, so I know your whole family. I had Randy and Trudy. And they were good. See, I made them good students. I'm sorry, I don't mean it like that, but I didn't stand for no foolishness.
Just have a quick question. Can you tell me the number of African American businesses back in, let's say, the 50s? Were there a lot of, I would say, Mr. Darden, possibly, or Mrs. Farrar, either one? What number of African American businesses were there? Were business in Sandusky? Just approximately. Did they have restaurants? Were there?
Well, there were not that many. There were a few, but not many. Back in the 50s, you're looking at probably Simmons Groceries is one. Pardon me?
Hunter Hotel.
Hunter Hotel was fading out at that time too. And you include your taverns. You include your taverns. We include your taverns and so forth. We didn't have a lot, but we had a few.
Okay, we're going to have one more question, and we're going to give that to Mr. Level.
Doc, when you were talking about teaching, I thought back to my grade school teachers when it came to slavery. She taught me that the slaves were so happy because they sang going to and from work, and the little pickaninnies played out in the front yard. They didn't have to go to school. Yes, yes. She may have been the exception, but that was some of the teaching that I received in my school.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I went to Sandusky school all my life. As I said, I didn't have too many experiences. I remember I had a history teacher, Miss Fox, and we'd all be in the room, and all the children from over to Cedar Point, you know, which is white, they'd be around her desk, and it's like if you would walk up there, she'd look at you like, what do you want? They were all surrounded, she was laughing, and when I went home and told my mother said, don't you worry. Whatever she puts on the board for them, you can get it too. You're not there to worry about who loves you and who doesn't. Because you got too many people at home. You don't worry about that. You get whatever she's putting on that board. And the ones from Cedar Point can't get it any faster than you can. Because don't let your children come home complaining. Find a reason to talk to them. Tell them whatever they're doing, that can't hold you back.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Thank you, Pastor Don. I think we can do better than that. Let's give him a hand for the history of Black history. Go ahead, Pastor Don. Has something else he wants to share with us?
Pardon me, just let me say this in closing. One of the things that I have applied to my life was drilled in me when I was a very young lad in Georgia. We were in an all black school, and we had what we call the Negro National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing. James Weldon Johnson. And one of the things that was drilled in us is, and we had to learn this, it was repeated. In the Negro National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, there are 27 pronouns. There's 4 on the first line, 5 on the first line, first stanza, 8 on second stanza, 14 on third stanza. Total of 27 pronouns, and not one is I. It's we. it's us, it's our. And that's the way we are. And that's how we grew up. That's how I grew up. Including not thinking of yourself first, but think of the other person also. It's we, it's us, it's our. And I just want to leave that thought with you.
Thank you, Pastor Johnson. And we thank you on behalf of the Sandusky unit of the NAACP, the Sandusky Bicentennial Committee. We thank you for your time that you shared with us today. It was a wonderful program, and we couldn't have made it without you. So in saying that, we all have to be in this world together. We have to live together, we have to survive together. And we need each other to depend on each other. So in saying that, we're inviting all of you who are not a member of the NAACP to become a member of the NAACP. The NAACP is for everyone. It's not, we are multiracial, the first and largest civil rights organization here in America. So if you're not a member, I do have a pad here. And before you leave, come up and see me. I'm going to get your name and address, and we'll send you the membership form. And it's just $30 for adults, $15 for youth. We do have the youth division, so we're training up our young people as well for everyone. So please support the NAACP. For all of those who ask questions, we have some bicentennial banner cup holders. So if you ask a question, also send me for that to get you a bicentennial cup holder as well. And thank you. Mackenzie, do you have anything else for us today?
Nope, you're good.
No?
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you for coming. This is from the Sandusky National Council of Negro Women. They are having a program. It's going to be like a concert. The final decade is a band that's going to take place in Sandusky High School. It's March 17th from 7:30 to 9. So go out and see this band. If you have any questions, you can contact Miss Nettie Cox or Miss Shirley Langdon. Miss Langdon is here today, so you can see her right there if you want to get some information about that as well. So on that, have a great night. Let's give Pastor Darden and Farrar another rousing round of applause for the Black history of Sandusky, Ohio. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you.